Jai Hind to all. This is Santosh Kumar Mishra, Assistant Professor in Information Technology Department of Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College. And in today's lecture, I will take a subject that is object oriented programming with Java, and this subject has been introduced in this semester for second year students. So, it is very important for second year students to go with my lectures. I will continuously record all the units, and it will be, I hope it will be very beneficial to all of you. So, let us start. The first thing that arises in our mind, that if there are a number of languages are available, then why to learn Java? If we understand this, that it will boost up our energy to understand this subject. So, since the previous languages that the secondary students of Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College or AKTU basically understood or taught the C language and in the and Python programming in its third semester. C languages, C is a language that is a structured programming language, and that is also not supports the concept of object oriented. Another concept that the C has a number of limitations, like the data in the C language programming are not secure, because the concept of data hiding is not there. That is a structured programming language. But Java is a all the concepts of C languages are supported by can be achieved by the Java, but it is a object oriented language. The main feature that the Java support, it's a platform independent language, but the program that you write in C language is not platform independent, and the internet era, the languages that support the platform independency is more likely to be used by the programmer as compared to C languages. C has its own benefit that may be preferably used for the hardware level coding, but at the application level coding, it is very beneficial to use Java programming language. Java has a lot of features. Some of the features that I have mentioned over here, that Java is a object oriented programming language. Everything is treated as object. The object is a real time entity that has some attributes and behavior, and we can basically focus on that objects, and the real entity can be simulated in our project, and according to that entity, according to the relationship of different objects, we can create a project more easily, more easy user friendly in Java programming language. Another feature that I have already told you, that Java supports the platform independency concept, means the code that is generated by Java interpreter is a byte code that is not a directly executable code. If in C language, if we compile our code, we find some object file and exe file, and that exe file is dependent on the system, on the operating system on which it has been developed, it has been translated. But in Java language, the Java interpreter once it is interpreted, it gives a byte code that is a highly optimized set of instructions, that is an intermediate code, that is highly optimized set of instructions that may be understood by any platform that contains Java virtual machine. So, it is very crucial feature of Java, it is very important feature of the Java, that it is platform independent. It makes it very much broader usable. So, it is very simple also, it is very easy to understood, the concept of Java. It is highly secure language. It enable us to develop virus free, tampered free programming. So it's very secure language. It is architecture neutral, means it is it is Java compiler generate an architecture neutral objects file format, which makes the compiled code executable on many processor with the presence of that have some Java runtime environment. The next feature, that Java is a portable language. We can the next feature that support the Java by Java is a robust language. Robust means if your code have some bugs, we have the concept of exception handling. By using that concept, even in at the case of abnormal situation in your piece of code, you can make your code executable by the use of exception handling. You can make that, you can instrument that by the use of this exception handling, you can make your code very much robust. It is also multi-threaded language. It's a multi-threaded, it supports the concept of multi-threading. If in another language that does not supports multi-threaded and you have to perform a number of tasks by a uniprocessor system, we can say that if you have some multitasking system, that in that situation, since the processes are resides on some separate address spaces, due to that the context switching time between that processes are higher, all the overheads of scheduling and executing the process based task is have higher overheads as compared to multi-threaded environment, where thread is a smallest unit of execution that resides at closure memory locations, that makes it low time in context switching. Means context switching is very much faster, and so it is very much efficient way of coding if your code provide the multi-threaded environment. So Java supports this multi-threaded environment that makes it very much usable. It is interpreted language. It is means the code written in Java is converted to the byte code, means line by line. So it has high performance because as it is interpreted, but due to the use of just in time compiler, the Java have the better performance as compared to other languages. It is distributed, it is dynamic. So now these are the features that makes the Java is a unique language that are highly preferable by the application level developer, and the core is multi-threaded, platform independency, portability and distributed language. So now let us come to the applications. You think area and you will find the applications of Java over there. So these are the applications where you can use Java language to code that project. There are a number of applications, there are number of types of application that you can develop using Java language. Like you can develop a standalone application, you can develop web application as well as enterprise application, you can develop mobile application. All these types of applications you can develop by the use of Java language. Now as I have already told you that Java provide the concept of object oriented, it supports the concept of object oriented, and object oriented have these 4 pillars. It has these 4 paradigms that we generally, there are a number of concepts that we use in object oriented languages, but the main 4 pillars of object oriented languages are abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance and polymorphism. Let us understand what the abstraction is. These are the concept: polymorphism, abstraction, inheritance, encapsulation, class, objects. all these concepts are provided by Java. So, the 4 main concept of Java is abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism and encapsulation. And the another 2 that I have listed here is what is a object, what is a class. As I have told you that object means any real time entity, any real entity can be treated as object, and once object is selected, we can identify the attributes and behavior related to that object. Like if we consider fan as a object, then that fan have the number of that fan have the attributes like the number of blades, the color of the fan, the RPM of the fan. These are the attributes of the fan, and the behavior of the fan can be on and off. It shows some different behavior when it is on state, and it shows some different behavior when it is on off state. So, we can create the attributes as variable and behavior as function, and we put this within a class, and we can say that the class is collection of some attributes and behavior. That is a template for creating similar type of object. So, we can say that an object is an instance of the class. So, the class when in instantiation, then that is also called a object, and object contain addresses and takes up some space in memory. Object can communicate without knowing the detail of each other's data or code. So, let us what the class is. I have already told you that class is a similar collection of object is class called class. We can also say that the class is a template for creating similar type of object. We can also say that the class is the collection of some attributes and behavior. So, now the 4 paradigm, the 4 concept that I have told you that the object oriented supports are encapsulation, abstraction, polymorphism and inheritance. Abstraction means showing the essential thing without going for its detail, means we are showing just the essential thing and hiding its background complexity, background detail, and that is called abstraction. So, abstraction is supported by Java. We have the concept of interface that provide us 100% abstraction. We have the abstract class that provides some sort of abstraction in our programming. So, abstraction means hiding the background complexity of the system and showing the very simple things, abstract things to the user. That is essential only. Now, the next concept is polymorphism. Polymorphism, poly means many, morphism means form. When one entity show many behavior, different behavior at different places, then the entities, the behavior of that entity is polymorphic behavior, and this concept is called polymorphism. Like plus operator, when applied between two numbers, it add them, and when it applies between two string, it concatenate them. Means we can say that the behavior of plus is polymorphic behavior. So, when one entity shows different behavior at different places, then the behavior of that entity is polymorphic behavior, and this concept is called polymorphism. Polymorphism are generally of two types, that is static polymorphism and dynamic polymorphism. We can also say that the compile time polymorphism as static polymorphism, and dynamic polymorphism is the example of runtime polymorphism. So, we will let us see that the when we apply method overloading in our program, then that shows the static polymorphism. We can also say that compile time polymorphism, and method overriding when we achieve, then that form the dynamic polymorphism or runtime polymorphism. So, after polymorphism, encapsulation. Encapsulation means wrapping up of data and function together into a single unit. Wrapping up of data and function together into a single unit, so that the entity outside that unit may not access the secure data. Means we are hiding the data by wrapping within some entity that is also called class, so that the entity outside that class may not access the secure data of that entity. This way we are providing the concept of data hiding in our Java programming language or object oriented programming language. So, Java Bean is the fully encapsulated class because all the data members are private in Java Bean. We can also make any member within our class as a private member, that I will taught you later on. There are 4 types of accessibility. In the coming slides we will go see that. So, after encapsulation, inheritance is there. Inheritance means acquiring the attributes and behavior of one class by another class is called inheritance, and inheritance make the reusability of code, and whenever we wants to have some advancement, some added feature in our code, then we will prefer the concept of inheritance. Inheritance makes our code dependent to each other, so it is not very much good programming to use inheritance in your code, because the coupling of your code increases once you use the concept of inheritance. And I have already told you in some lectures that your code should have highly cohesive and less coupled. Cohesiveness should be high, but coupling should be less, and your inheritance makes your code highly coupled. Means highly coupled code is not preferable in our programming language. So, let us move ahead. This is the first program. When we want to write code in our Java language, then you can create a class by writing class keyword. That a class may be public, private, protected or default, that we will see later. We create a class by using class keyword. Whenever you want to write a class, create a class, that you can create a class by writing class keyword, and after this class write the name of the class. Let us say I have created a class named ABC, then open curly braces and after that put close curly braces, and within this wrapper you can see that we have created a wrapper named ABC. So, you can understood that the wrapping of data together into a single unit can be achieved by wrapping the things within a class. And how can you create that? You can create that by this class keyword. Write class keyword, after that write the any identifier, means this class name is the identifier for this class. After that write open close curly braces, and within that curly braces you write your concept, your code. Within that I have created here a main method. You can have any number of variables and functions within this class, and once you wants to execute this class, you should have some main method within the class. Like C language, the starting point of the class is main function in Java language also. And but in Java language, to write main function you have to specify the access specifier of that main function. After that you have to write a static keyword. After that you have to write return type of that main function, then write the name of the main function, and within that main function you have to write, I am writing here within the main, I am writing here within that main function you have to write a string, you have to pass a string array. I have named here ARGS of that for that array, and within that main function you start writing your code. So, I am writing this more clearly here. I am writing this code more accurately, more clearly this side. So let's take a pen. I am writing this class, then class name, and within this class open close curly braces. Now create a public static void main function, public static void main, and within that main, within this main, pass a string type array, string args, and within that this main function write your code. I am just writing system dot out dot println hello. Now the question arises, why we have written after the main function we started this curly braces, then close this curly braces, and this is close the class. Now the question arises, why have make this main function as a static, and what does it mean by the static keyword? Whatever things you will put within a class can be accessed by creating the object of that class only. But if you want to access anything without creating the object of that class, that you can put that thing as a static. You can make that thing as a static, and once you make a class or variable anything as a static, then if you make any function or any variable as a static, then that function or variable may be accessed directly by the class name without creating the object of the class, and object can be only created once the main function executed. So it is very much required to execute main function without object. So we make this main function as static, so that compiler may access this main function directly by the class name without creating the object of that class. That is why we have make this static. Now void is the return type, main is the name of the function. String type array we pass here. If we want to pass any command line argument, then that command line argument may be acquired by this main function in this string type array. Later on we will see how can we pass some command line arguments to this main function. We will use this concept also. So, and one thing you must remember, that this string is a class in Java, and every class name must it should start with a capital letter, and every predefined class is following this concept, and string is a predefined class. So we should write this is as a capital, because string class is predefined, that is with capital letter only. So if you put this s as a small, it will have some compile time error. So similar fashion, in the similar fashion, this s of the system class is also in capital letter only, because system is a class, and in this system class in, out and ERR error, three static variables are there. System.in collectively refers to the keyboard input device, system.out collectively refers to the output device, means monitor. So since it is static, in, out and ERR are static, so we can call that directly by the class name. That is why system.out has been called over here. System.out refers to the output device, and on that output device we have printed this hello. This way you can create a class, we can create the wrapper and save. If your file have a number of classes, then try to save that file with the name of the class that contains the main function. Otherwise, I will show you. Once you create your class, save this file, you can save it on from any name, but the extension should be .java. You should save this class by any name, but initially I will prefer that you should save this file with the name of the class that contains the main function. Let us understood what will happen. If we save this file with, we want to save this, then we will save it with abc.java, and to execute this, go to the class, to compile and execute it, go to the command prompt, write javac for compilation and then file name.java. This way your program will compile. And I have told you that your class name it, you write javac space abc.java if your class is saved with abc. Then your file will compile, again command prompt will happen, and to execute it, write java space file name only, enter. If the name of your file is different, then you can compile that file with that name, but to execute that file you have to call the class of the name of that class that contains the main function. So to understand it, to do not create any confusion, we should name our file as the file name as a name of the class that have main function. We can have different, but if that is different, then compile with that file name, but to execute just write the file name that contains the main method. This way we understood that how can you create your class and how can you compile and execute it. So after this, we will in next lecture we will see the further concept of Java, and we will keep on I will keep on recording the things, and will try to provide all the good concept to all of you. Thank you. Thanks a lot. See you in next lecture. Thank you.